Hey, what's happening, my fearless networking friend? Todd Falcone here. Welcome back to another episode. And I'm going to talk to you guys today about creating success in network marketing without social media, okay? Now, before I even get into it, I want to say this, that obviously if you're on social media, it gives you a lot more reach, gives you the opportunity to connect with a lot more people, a lot of, just a much broader ability to connect with human beings. So I think there are big advantages to social media. But then, the other side of the equation is, well, what if you're not on social media, or what if you're not into social media, or what if you barely do social media? And I've had enough experience with people over the last several years that want to do network marketing and be involved in this profession, but they're not on social media, or they don't have a social media game. I mean, I got a guy I was talking to, a week or so ago, who's got, 100 friends on Facebook, or 150 friends on Facebook, or something like that, or another person who's got, who just doesn't want to be on Facebook or doesn't want to be on social media. And this individual is a very high-level female executive that just doesn't do anything on social media. So we all get into this, this thought, I guess. I think a lot of people do is like, everybody's on social media. Come on, I mean, that's where everybody's at, and most people are, granted, for sure. But there are, and a friend of mine that I was hanging out with this last week, he's an entrepreneur, very successful entrepreneur, and honestly, I don't even know if he's got a Facebook page. I know we're not friends on Facebook, so he probably doesn't have a Facebook page. He's not on LinkedIn. He's not on really anything. He's kind of not present. And then I think there are certainly a group of people that want their privacy and don't want to just be showing the world every aspect of their lives. And so is there a place for those people, and can you succeed in network marketing without being on social media? And I mean, the truth is yes. And it's, network marketing existed long before social media ever existed. Now, again, let me say this. If you can play the social media game, if you can connect with people there, I think there are huge advantages to it. But let's say you never wanted to be on social media, any of it, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, whatever. I'm not going to list them all. Could you win? And the answer is yes. And you would just, incorporate the traditional things that we've always done that are still, quite frankly, applied to the things that we do on social media. I mean, people have asked me in interviews, things like that, like how much, how much, because I've been in this game for so long, like how has network marketing changed from a long time ago? And, when I answer that question, I'm like, I don't really think it has changed all that much. It's still the same business model that it always was, where it's word of mouth, where you have a company that has a product or a service, or products or services that choose to move those products and services to end users through a network of independent distributors or affiliates that get paid the commission instead of you having to pay for shelf space or marketing, advertising, and all the other things that traditional product distribution would entail. So conceptually, it has not changed. It's still the same thing that it's always been. What has changed are the tools and resources, things that are available to us that weren't available, long time ago. I mean, for example, like I've always used the phone and continue to use the phone to build my business. It's always been my best friend. But before, it was like the phone was only at somebody's house when I started, and if they weren't home, you weren't reaching them. There was no email, there was no internet. We would do live meetings, and then it turned into, then there was, you could get stuff on VHS tape or cassette tape that turned into CDs, and then ultimately with, faster internet and streaming video, most of the industry in terms of disseminating information is done through video. Like, I poll audiences all the time. And most of the time, if I say, like, how are you presenting your opportunity, or how are you presenting kind of the story of your company, like 9 out of 10 or 99 out of 100 people are saying video. So video dominates in terms of how information is disseminated to a prospect. And that's great. Everybody has access to the internet for the most part. and they have access to being, having fast enough internet speeds where, like, if you were to send them a video that's on a website, they're going to be able to watch the video and be able to consume the information so they can make an informed decision about whether or not they want to pursue your opportunity or pursue, purchasing products from you. So yes, the answer is yes, people can succeed in network marketing without ever being on social media. And I'm not going to necessarily go into the whole, look, how do you build a business, period? Well, if I'm going to build a business, I need to go get customers. If I'm going to build a business, I need to have distributors that are also getting customers, because there's only two things that we do. If we like bare bones it in terms of what we do in network marketing, we sell products and we find other people that want to be in the business with us, and those people sell products and recruit other distributors. We're creating a larger distribution network. Same kind of concept. If we looked at franchising, we're in franchising. If you have one McDonald's franchise, how many burgers are you going to sell? Well, you're going to sell however many burgers out of that one franchise. But if you own 50 franchises, how many burgers are you going to sell? It's exactly the same concept. I suppose the main difference is, it costs $1 million to start a McDonald's franchise, and you can get started in any direct selling or network marketing company for virtually zero money, $500,000 or less. So, I wanted to answer this question because in one conversation I had with this guy, he's like, well, can I be successful in it without being on social media? And for those, and I'll say this to you, the person that is on social media, for the people that you might have coming to you that aren't on social media, what do you do with those people? In fact, there are the one woman that I'm referring to, she was not at all on social media, had no desire to be on social media, and the only thing that was being taught with this particular company, this organization, was it had to be done on social media. So she felt like she couldn't even participate in that opportunity because it was all 100% social media driven. They weren't even providing resources or training on how to build a business in a traditional way, not using social media. So when you're putting stuff together for your organization or your team, it might be wise to think about, well, what about the people, and I would say most people are involved on social media, but some aren't, or some have very little social media game, and they're not going to try to like speed up their social media game so they can get a bunch of followers so then they can go build their business. They got to utilize other methods. So I think it's important, to realize, yes, you can do it by reaching out the way we've always done it, whether it be through warm market or through regular networking, whether it's meetups or chambers or LaTips or BNIs or other things that are physically, you're seeing people are connecting with people, are being involved in the community, or trade shows, trade fairs, things like that, other leads or advertising, other strategies that you can apply that are offline in order to generate leads or meet new people, because you got to make sure you're in a position to be able to who am I going to talk to and what am I going to say? Like, when a person first gets started in network marketing, that's a legitimate question. I've never done this before. What do I say? Who's my market, and what do I say to that market? How do I approach that market? So I think a wise idea, even though we're in this high tech social media app driven world, would be to and I wouldn't necessarily call this analog versus digital, but I think we can refer to it as that, be able to provide elements, tools, and resources and training for the analog, right? For the people that aren't on social media. So you're still providing people that have a desire to succeed in this business model with a track to run on, even if they don't have a big social media game or they have no desire to be on social media. And that's up to you guys as the independent leader leading an organization. Do we provide people an avenue? And I'll finish with this thought. So a few years ago, there was a big Facebook outage. There's been a couple that have happened over probably the last 4 or 5 years. There was one major outage that happened about 4 years ago, and there was one company in particular that they didn't do anything on. There's more companies than that, but this particular company, 100% Facebook. That's all they did. And so the day that Facebook went down, that company was basically out of business. And so what a shame, for example. I mean, obviously it's short term. Facebook's probably not going to go anywhere. But that whole company there was zero production that day because they only do social media, in this case, only do Facebook. So if that's all you're teaching, and if you're like really myopic in terms of strategies that you're teaching, you're not enabling the greater, the masses to be able to participate. I always think that you need to have a wide net and be able to provide people different processes or different avenues in which to build the business, rather than being, only focused on that one thing. So for example, if the only game that you have is Facebook and Facebook were to break or you got booted off of Facebook, you're screwed. You're out of business. So I don't know, just some thoughts for you as a leader, or burgeoning leader, depending on who's watching this or listening to this, that I think yes, people can do it without social media. There are people that want to do it and don't want to be on social media or don't have a social media game. And the way that that's going to happen for them is you, as a person bringing them in or inviting them in, is you've got to provide them an avenue in which to build their business, even if they're not on that. Because if the only resources that you're supplying for them are all focused on social media, they can't even participate in the deal. And what a bummer that is. Now, they may not be in social media themselves, but they might bring somebody in that's in social media. So we've got to be able to provide people multiple ways of building the business, whether they're using those current things that we have available to us or not. So just some thoughts on that. So if you're on my YouTube channel, what's up, YouTubers? Appreciate you. If you're on my podcast, appreciate you guys as well. And love to hear your thoughts and your comments. You can do those over on my website and get the rest of the details on this episode and other stuff to help you be successful in network marketing. ToddFalcone.com/episode 168. TODDFALCONE.com/episode 168. We'll see you soon.